Hello, everybody. My name is Kumaraswamy, a software architect at SAP. So this session is on new guided sourcing capabilities, which also makes use of machine learning and analytics for simplifying the everyday user actions. So with me is Sunny as a co-speaker.
Hi everyone. I will be talking about price acceptance and optimization workbench.
Let's take a look at the agenda. The guided sourcing event creation was GA'd more than a year back, so which had new user experience to streamline the creation, monitoring, and awarding of RFP and RFI events. So we have recently added support for full project management, auction, optimization, and guided sourcing. So by leveraging machine learning technologies, we have simplified importing contents into the event and also recommend suppliers and general content for your event. Let's hear about getting real-time information on the new bid console screen while monitoring the events. Lastly, we'll perform the bid analysis to compare the bids, identify our outliers that helps in awarding to the right suppliers. Okay, this is about the SAP's vision about intelligent enterprise. The full project in guided sourcing. So full project can contain multiple sourcing projects, and it includes support for process management, including document storage, creating tasks, teams, and access control. So it helps with planning and savings tracking to manage one or more sub projects events. So we'll also have a demo to see the capabilities of full project creation, get quick project insights. Then we should be able to create the events and tasks and documents, and also with the approval graphs. So let's have a demo to understand more about the full project capabilities.
Let me start creating a guided sourcing project. So under the create menu, you would see guided sourcing project. So earlier we were able to create guided sourcing events, but now we are able to create the full project as well in the new view. I'll give the name as engineering requirements demo. You should be able to fill in the project fields like commodity region and others as well. If you have selected a ERP system, then you should also see the ERP system fields and its custom fields too. And let me select a full project template. So you would see all the classic sourcing full project templates here. So once I create this, so this takes me to a single page project interface that simplifies navigation and content management. Right. So this guided sourcing full project supports many existing sourcing project features, like as we saw project creation. We can also do project settings. So we could set up the predecessor project. So wherein you can have a follow-on relationship with the other projects. And we can also have teams and project groups set up. Let me hide this. So we can also see a process section wherein you could see all the phases and which phase is currently being active, being worked on, and all the dependencies as well. We also have project insight tiles to easily monitor the project's progress and quickly access its contents. I'll come back to this one once I have the enough data within that. So this full project was created using a full project template. Hence, few tasks, even documents, and teams are inherited from the template. So let's take a look at a few of the documents that's already present. For example, I can click on the existing document. I should be able to see the preview of it. Or I should be able to upload new documents as well using the upload functionality. I also have like few events here, so laptop RFP and there's another event. So this is in a not created state, similar to classic sourcing. So I should be able to create them by providing few other fields. So I'll go with default and then click on create. So now this RFP got created, so I should be able to add suppliers and create items. And add questions as well, so which I'll do it a little later. So I'll go back to the full project here. So this is under events. So I should be able to create folders and subfolders as well for better organization. If you see already I have few folders, but I should be able to create subfolders as well. So let me create a document. So if I click on create document, I have multiple options of creating multiple document types that I could create. It could be a sourcing event or a savings form, multiple report. The sub-projects as well, or the contact workspace, and I should be able to copy the documents using the content finder. So let me create a sourcing project here. So let me click on next, and I'll give a quick ad hoc event, and I'll leave it as RFP, and so I'll select a template. So here we restrict the templates to ad hoc templates that are marked as ad hoc templates within the full project. So this is the new restrictions that we have added in the guided sourcing project. So the ad hoc event is being created. So I'll move to the full project. I should be able to see the ad hoc event here. So we also saw the documents, and on this document I should be able to replace this document with other document, or I should be able to publish the document, or I should be able to download as well. I publish this document, and similarly I created a quick ad hoc template, event, and on that I can see, okay, the details like what is the status of it and who's the owner, and who last modified, and other details as well. I can also see associated tasks in this section as well. So apart from that, I should be able to create tasks directly from here. So if I click on create task, so it will take me to the task page. So wherein I should be able to create. I should be able to create any different kinds of tasks. So we should be able to create a to-do task or a review task, the approval task, approval for publish or grading, approval for award, since this is a event. So for now, I'll just select a review task. So I'll call this as a review task. So for all of these tasks, you can set up the due days for the tasks. You can set up for the observers, the other fields that you can set up, other properties like is it an optional task, is it a milestone, and other stuff. So there are other properties that could be set up here. And since it is a review or approval task, you should add approvers or reviewers. So let me start adding the approvers or reviewers. So let me select maybe one of them, or you can select multiple as well. So I'll select one as the reviewer here, and I should be able to even create a workflow here by adding like parallel approvals or serial approvals as well. So for now, in the interest of time, I'll stick to this one, and let me click on submit. So this creates a new review task. I can give a review task comments as well. Okay, you can notice that the review task is now created, right? So these tasks, so I should be able to drag and drop this task and place it in under different phases. So let me drag this and put it under the engineering phase. So this is, and you can see that it is now in review state. So we have few tasks like to-do tasks, right? So this is, I should be able to create even phases and tasks from here. So the to-do task I have is requirement analysis. I should be able to mark this as started, and so I also have a due date as October 8th. And for review task, once the reviewer has completed the task, it actually moves to completed status. So while I'll act as a reviewer and I'll mark it as reviewed, you can notice that. And once the to-do task has been completed, you can actually set it to complete. So since all the tasks under the phase has been marked as complete, the phase itself will marked as complete. Now we can reactivate the phase now. And the review task was completed. So you can now create new round of the review task. Or similarly, I think you have like number of functionalities that you can make use of. So you can mark few of the tasks and projects as quick links. So that I think so for example here I can add this to quick links so that it is like quickly accessible. This is on the documents. So there are like lots of other functionalities within that, wherein you can mark the project as on hold or cancel it. You can view the project history. So this will give the history of all the actions that have been happening here. And you can switch to classic project as well, and you can create a follow-on project and stuff. But in the interest of time, I'll move on to the project insights. I'll open up a different project wherein I have like more project tiles and more project data. So I have now opened another event. So let's take a look at the project insight. So we have tiles like getting started. These are instructions provided by buyer, the template administrator to the buyer, and all the events. So what are the status of the events? And for example, there's one event that is already awarded. So this is in completed status, and you can see what is the spend and what was the awarded amount, and what was the time it got closed, and the details, and you can see all the tasks and how many are there in overdue, like very due very soon, and which are overdue, and how many of them are completed. You can see 2 out of 10 are completed here. You can also see supplier participation for all the events. So for laptops RFP, this is, you can see that 2 of the suppliers have submitted the bids and 1 of them are not. There's another title called event award by suppliers, wherein you can see for every event that is being awarded, you can see what is the total awarded value and how many suppliers were part of that award and their individual award amount. You can also see the contracts that were created as part of it. Yeah, that's all about the guided sourcing full project in the new UX.
So we basically support the most existing sourcing project capabilities from classic sourcing, including chat conversation, copying a full project from past events and from the content library or more. So we'll now move on to smart import from Excel. So basically, the pain of importing contents from predefined Excel is now replaced with the ability to import your own Excel by leveraging the machine learning technologies. Basically, I'm sure I think you would have heard of this feature earlier as well. The smart import capability can actually import data from multiple sheets of pricing items, questions, and requirements. What we do is we map the Excel column headers to the existing terms or create custom terms or formulas, right? And this is for the questions and requirements. And we just don't stop there. So we also recommend the suppliers and questions and requirement into an event. So this is based on the event title and the line item title that you provide, and then using the commodity, region, department to both event and the line item level, along with the suppliers from the past event. Right. So let's have a quick demo about these ML use cases.
I have an RFP event already created, so I have to create a line items into this. So if I have to upload an Excel, so the existing solution is to use the simplified Excel, wherein one has to create a sample for the first line item, download that Excel, and then fill the Excel with the contents that needs to be imported into the system. So this is a cumbersome process. So why not one upload the customer Excel as it is? So the customer Excel can be in various formats with multiple sheets. Maybe the other customers would have something in this format, and so I'm going to use this one to import now. So it has 4 sheets and pricing schedule, questions, and functional requirements in different sheets. So I'm going to import one of the customer Excel as it is. So I'll choose my own format for the smart import. So let me select that particular Excel. So what's happening in the background is we are reading the Excel and then all the sheets. So each sheet is being identified to its content type. So we have identified pricing schedule to be items and the supplier and product questions to be questions and so on. So this is identified through a machine learning algorithm. We also have identified internal use only, not to be imported, because this doesn't look like a data sheet. So I confirm this, and the data gets imported into feedback screen. So this is the screen wherein you can make corrections to the predictions that we have made. If you can see that the line items table, the headers have been mapped to its terms. For example, the name has been mapped to item name, description from the Excel has been mapped to the description of the line item. Unit price from Excel is mapped to price, which is correct. Volume is mapped to quantity. Manufacturer is not mapped to anything, so it will be created as a custom term. Same with the product number. So let me edit this, and if you see, so the product number would be of type short answer, and I think response required, I'll mark it as no. Then we can see previous price is not mapped to anything, so I'll say that this has to be mapped to some existing term like historic price. It looks like it's historic price though. So I made corrections to the items table. We can also see questions and requirements being imported. We can make corrections to these too. Once the corrections are done, let me go ahead and import them into the draft system, into my draft event. So all the corrections that I made will be collected as a feedback, and it will be fed back into the system, so that the machine learning prediction will be a lot better going forward. So the accuracy level would be higher for the next times. So I can validate that all of them are good. And so now I'll have to add suppliers. So we have another machine learning algorithm to recommend suppliers based on the event title, the line item titles, and region, commodity, and department of both event level and at the line item level. We also consider the past events for recommending the suppliers. So if you see, it has recommended 3 suppliers, and these are the suppliers that we generally go with. So let me add all of them. So it gets automatically added into the system instead of going and searching and adding them manually. Similarly, so there are like few general content that we generally add. So even that general content recommendation has happened through another machine learning algorithm. Okay, it says like the couple of questions are generally included as part of such event and line items. So I think, yeah, this looks like relevant to me, so I'm going to add this. And this is how we use machine learning algorithm to simplify the user experience, and all the corrections that we made with these recommendations will again be considered and fed back into the machine learning model for better predictions in the future. And you can notice that this event was set up in less than 5 minutes, and I should be able to go ahead and publish it as well.
So the ML model constantly learns from the feedback provided by the user in the review screen, so that it can actually provide a better predictions going forward, and so that the accuracy levels are a lot better. So let's take a look at the bid console screen to get the real-time insights about the events. Since auctions are short-lived, getting real-time information about the supplier bids becomes a must for buyers to understand the trend and also take decisions on the bidding event. The recent bids, the bid graphs of the whole event items or individual items along with the tabular view helps buyers to have all the information in the real time. So let's see the support for bid console using a demo here.
I have set up an auction event, and I have 3 lots within it. So lot 1, lot 2, lot 3. Lot 1 has 3 items, and lot 2 has 3 items, and third one is an item. So I also have like 3 suppliers, and I've already started bidding on the lot 1 is done, and the currently lot 2 bidding is in progress. So let me take you to the bid console page. So this bid console screen is freshly implemented, wherein you can see a real-time bidding information from the suppliers. You can notice that I think the lot 1 is already closed, and lot 2 bidding is in progress. So I'll now from another screen I'll be bidding as one of the suppliers. So I'll pick DigiStorage as the supplier, and let me do a setup. So 1050 for Lenovo ThinkPad, one of the other, and for the other one I'll say 1100, and so I'll update the totals, and total is 74,500 USD. So I'm going to submit this 74,500, and I should be able to see them here. Yeah, we can notice that the DigiStorage bidding of $74,500 is already appeared here in a near real time, in few seconds to a minute. And so let's explore the other sections in this bid console page. So you can see supplier participation with the graph here, and we saw the recent bids in the section. So we see a few recent bids and the event duration. We see the graphs for all the lots and for all the items versus suppliers. If you can hover on any of those, and so that it will highlight that one for you. And this is a graph wherein you can see this is the supplier and this is the line item, and you can see the time versus the bidding price, and you can also see the lots information in this one, and wherein you can see who's the lead bidder for these line items and lots. So for this Apple laptops, the lead bidder is AK Consultants, and for Lenovo it is DigiStorage. So let me take you by the way, all this information will be updated in the real time. So it could be tables or it could be graphs, so they'll be updated in real time as and when the supplier bids. So let me take you to the recent bid page wherein you can see the bid history. So this is the bid history for different lots and items, right? So this is for Apple laptops, so which is already in pending selection stage. So this was bid by AK Consultants and Digistorage, and you can see who is the lead bidder here. So you can drill down and get more details about um, the bid response basically. So that lot has 3 items, and you can see what are the bidding prices, and you can see the initial prices for those items. So I'll go back to the recent bids, and even in the recent bids you have the same graphs for all items and suppliers, and you should also be able to filter out by lot names here. So we have 3 of them, so you can see the bid history only for the selected lots, right? So it will filter based on that, and same goes for supplier and organizations and status as well. So I'll go back to the bid console screen again, and you can also view details about a few lots. You can watch them. For example, I've selected a couple of lots, and if I click on watch, so I can start watching these 2 lots. I mean, I know that these 2, or maybe these 2 lots which are currently being bid upon, or these are the ones that are like critical for me. So you can watch only those items that are important for you, and you can actually get this data in the tabular format, and if you want each of these individual lots with the graphical format, you can actually use this view wherein you can see the graphical format for the same. So yeah, and in this one you can see that there are like 3 suppliers who have bid on the second lot, and you can again see the bid history for those 2 items that are present. So that's all about the bid console screen that is implemented freshly. You can also get to individual lot or item details. For example, let me select this and view details. So here I should be able to see what are the bidding rules for that item or lot, and what terms. I think we can see all the terms in this screen. So you get all details about that particular lot or the item. Thank you.
Let's take a quick look about the architecture. So in the interest of time, I'll quickly go over it. So we have used Spring, Webflux, reactive programming, Apache Kafka for messaging, and WebSockets for bi-directional communication, and Angular for interactive and intuitive UI. With that, I'll hand over to Sunny.
Yeah, price acceptance and optimization workbench. So right now, we are have focused on the monitoring stage. Now we are focusing on the evaluating stage, where we are reviewing multiple supplier bids. Suppliers can provide multiple bids, and it needs a decision support to find the exactly right supplier. That will be provided by the optimization workbench. Users can create multiple scenarios based on their business use case. They can compare multiple scenarios based on their use case to find the exact scenario what they are looking for. Once a user has identified a particular scenario, they can go ahead for the awarding to the best bid. If the external system is configured in the system, from the guided sourcing UI, user can create a follow-on document and that document will be sent to their customer external system. From the architecture point of view application, we are using SAP HANA DB. In middle of that architecture, we have the 2 connectors which talk to SAP Ariba sourcing and event data service. We have API layer built on GraphQL. We have a presentation layer built on the Angular. We expose our UI component as a web components, and it is be consumed in 2 microservice, guided sourcing and guided buying. Let's jump to our demo. I am creating a sourcing event laptops where I'm sourcing a few laptops, and I have added 2 suppliers in this event. Right now I'm in a review responses stage where I'm reviewing responses from the suppliers. I can compare bids in the bid comparison panel. Right now I have 2 suppliers. I can see in this bar chart, I can see what is the total bid from Computer Supplies Incorporation 1 versus Computer Supplies Incorporation. I can see total bid, savings, fulfillment. I can filter down this view by adding more terms, or by other criteria, by including alternative bids or only primary bids in this view. I can exclude some supplier as well. In item view, I have selected all the MacBook series laptops which I am comparing these for these items. I can add, which type of bid I wanted to include, if I wanted to exclude some supplier, or if I wanted to add more terms. Click on apply to find out this view. And if I go to on this drop down, I can add another dimension in this chart, which is extended price. I can see this information on the y2 axis. These line graphs represent extended price. On hovering on the legend, I can see what is the actual, which bar belongs to a particular information is there. I can see the extended price as well. On hovering this, I can see what is the price, extended price, item coverage, and contact. I can do further analysis in my bid analysis tab. I can filter it my bid table by these filters: item, other criteria, suppliers, or by items. In our advanced options, I can do to find out what are my outliers as well. I can add a range to find out my outlier. Let's select price, adding my range, click on apply. I can see I have two suppliers have 12 outliers, and this is indicated by yellow color, and I can see the deviation between among them. I can go to scenario maker tab, and I can view the default scenarios and default allocation to the lowest bid, and I can see to the total spend. If I want, I can create a custom scenario and do a custom allocation. For example, I'm giving 10% allocation to this supplier versus 90% allocation to Computer Supplies Incorporation. I can see my scenario summary here. I can do a further analysis between scenarios by comparing scenarios. I can choose which scenario I wanted to compare and click on compare scenario. In compare scenario page, I can see all these three suppliers which have scenarios I have selected. I can see extended price, total saving, what is the delta between the best bid, how many items have been awarded in this scenario, and also how many suppliers are present. If I want, I can do award from this screen as well, or I can go back to the bid analysis table and do the awarding. If I do award, and this will be allocated to this awarded will be to the supplier with all the total selected items, and with if I want, I can send notification as well. If I want to create external send follow-on documents and to send to my external system, I need to, in my template sourcing template, I need to allow external system integration to yes, and allow integration types. Once that is done, and when I click on award, I will be seeing an option to do you want to create a follow-on documents. On clicking on follow-on documents, I can see the list of documents. I have selected purchase info record, and if I click on confirm, this supplier will be awarded with these selected items, and there will be external follow-on document will be created in external ERP, which is really purchase info records. Thank you for joining us. Hope you had a great session with us.